Well, folks, I have some bad news for you. The demon known as Jesse Waters hasn't yet chosen to crawl back to the hell from whence he came.
This right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the leadership of the LA Fire Department. I sure hope they know what they're doing.
Instead, Fox News has decided to follow Donald Trump's lead and politicize the absolute shit out of these fires in LA.
You're bringing up the homeless. There's a good chance the homeless started this fire.
While residents struggle with water pressure due to firefighters' demand on the system, Donald Trump and his lackeys are pulling any kind of environmental policy that they don't like and putting the blame on that, even though officials have said over and over again that all of this crap about delta smelt and dams have nothing to do with the issues of water management surrounding these fires.
Can you tell us about what Trump said there? Is it true?
I showed a social media post from the president-elect yesterday to an expert in California water policy, a man named Jeffrey Mount. He said, Abby, none of it is true. So this has just been a staggering quantity of wrongness from the president-elect in a very short period of time.
Just like food and housing in the United States, the problem isn't with the amount, it's with distribution. But of course, if we've learned anything from the first time Trump was in office, is that facts have very little to do with what he says.
I understand things. I comprehend very well. Okay? Better than, I think, almost anybody.
And by the way, who knew the other side of the picture better than me? I knew it.
Nobody knows more about environmental impact statements than me.
And I think I know more about the environment than most people.
And not only are they looking for any environmental policies that they don't like to put the blame on, they are also, like clockwork, blaming brown people and, of course, women. Fox News' genetically modified frat boy Jesse Waters had an absolute hyper-misogynistic segment on his show. I want to apologize ahead of time for having to play a couple of clips of Jesse Waters. I know he has the most punchable face, so I hope you don't have to hit your screen in the next few minutes.
Nothing. Biden was considering Bass for VP. So who else is running things? This right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the leadership of the LA Fire Department. I sure hope they know what they're doing. Here's the fire chief.
She took time out of her already busy schedule to tell us about her vision for the department's future, one that includes a 3-year strategic plan to increase diversity.
People ask me, well, what number are you looking for? I say, I'm not looking for a number. It's never enough.
Out of 3,300 city firefighters, only 115 are women right now. She's already looking at ways to change that. The chief also checks another box when it comes to inclusivity and diversity at this department. She's a proud member of the LGBTQ community.
That just kind of opens the door of people that thought, wow, I didn't even know that that was an opportunity for me.
So while her department was sending equipment to Ukraine, the chief was marching in pride parades, which is fine. Have all the pride you want, but you better make sure you're ready to do your job when it counts. LA County Fire Department fired a ton of men who refused to get vaccinated. Bet they could have used those men today. In fact, California has a program to scrub white males from the fire department. Adam Carolla says he tried to apply to be a firefighter in LA once, but they told him to go to the back of the line.
I want to talk about my white privilege so badly. I could not find a job. I walked to a fire station in North Hollywood. I was 19. I was living in the garage of my family home. My mom was on welfare and food stamps, and I said, can I get a job as a fireman? And they said, no, because you're not black, Hispanic, or a woman. We'll see in about 7 years.
California is committing suicide right before our eyes. DEI is deadly. The state spent billions of dollars on equity programs, and they can't even deliver basic services. Newsom spends more money fighting homelessness than fighting fires, and both of them are out of control. The state has a drug problem, a homeless problem. Everything's burning. There's no water. Bridges are blowing up. Migrants are running off of boats onto beaches. California is run by public servants who can't serve the public. And the governor looks around and says, I'm going to run for president. This is completely unacceptable in the United States of America.
No, what's completely unacceptable is that smug look he has on his face when he sits there and blames fires on the fact that women are firefighters or that they might be gay. Conservatives are more concerned with who has what genitalia and who sleeps with who than they are about actually fixing the issues. Now, Mayor Bass has a lot to answer for, as do all the Democrats who run this city. But you know who also has something to answer for? Ron DeSantis in Florida. Ken Paxton in Texas. There's a freeze currently happening in Texas. Every time a freeze happens, people die.
Now from fire to ice, the latest winter storm is on the move. It's targeting tens of millions from Texas to the mid-Atlantic. A dangerous combination of snow, freezing rain, and brutal cold expected to cause power outages and a travel nightmare on the roads and at the airports.
But you won't see the same level of politicization during their natural disasters as you do in California. Who cares about what Adam Carolla's testimony is? Adam Carolla can't even make good TV shows. What makes you think he'd be a good firefighter? And that point that he made at the end about homeless people, well, he expanded a little further on that.
Greasy Gavin, new scum.
But Jessica, that's the issue with you guys.
No, it's
You're
not.
so obsessed with talk.
I'm not.
And not action.
I have action things to say on top of that. I'm making a
Well,
point
then say
about,
them, Jessica, because no one cares
stop talking
about
so I can.
name calling. All right?
Actually, some people do.
No,
and
no one cares what he calls them, Jessica. The state is on fire. The state's on fire, and you're out here saying they have water.
No,
that's what we're saying. We're saying that the guy can't run the state, and he's sitting there with his hands in his pockets. And you're bringing up the homeless. There's a good chance the homeless started this fire. Did you know that 54% of the fires that the LA Fire Department respond to were started by the homeless? And we're spending more money on the homeless than we are on stopping these fires, Jessica.
This man just blamed the homeless for the fires in one of the richest areas in the United States. Do you think the homeless are hanging out outside of multi-million-dollar homes in LA? What an absolutely demonic and horrendous thing to say. Maybe they're trying to keep warm. They don't have homes, and it gets cold at night, Jesse Waters. He's such a pampered little baby, he doesn't even consider that fire might be necessity for survival. Listen, the state of California, as does the entire country, has a huge problem with homelessness. But blaming the homeless for the rise in fires in California, when it's clearly due to climate change, is so disgusting and horrendous. Now, I don't wish ill on anyone, but Jesse Waters lives in New Jersey. So when the next freak hurricane hits New Jersey, and his house gets washed into the sea, I hope he doesn't start blaming homeless people for doing rain dances. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.